This is Tom Aspray with Mastering Relative Performance Analysis Part 2. You can find Part 1 on YouTube. I've written quite a few articles on relative performance analysis over the years, and if you'd like some links to past articles and further examples, feel free to email me at tom@viperetf.com. Today I want to concentrate on bottoming formations in relative performance analysis and the particular patterns that I look at to confirm that a bottom is in place. This chart is from a much earlier article on relative performance analysis, looking at my analysis of the sector spider ETF, the XLE. This takes one through a whole cycle from a bottom to a top, but we'll concentrate today on the bottoming formation. As I'll point out later, it is important to note that just because the relative performance analysis does not indicate a stock or ETF is a market leader, it won't go up. But over the years you will find, if you apply this analysis, that sticking with the market leaders, you'll get a much better bang for your buck, and if the market turns against you, those entities that have superior relative performance analysis will not drop as much as the market. The XLE, the relative performance analysis, formed a bullish. You can see that the relative performance was in a long-term downtrend that was tested in August of 2010. In October of 2010, there was an important change as the relative performance moved above these previous peaks, the resistance, and that indicated that on a weekly basis XLE had become a market leader. It had a very stellar rise until May of the following year, and you can see the relative performance analysis stayed well above its moving average throughout that period. Those of you who are traders like me might say, well, that weekly chart really doesn't give me a lot of information to trade on. If you look at the daily chart of the XLE during the same time period, you can see there were quite a few excellent buy setups during that massive trend. Continuation patterns or flags are one of my favorite trading setups. I have highlighted several on charts. You can see the first one was completed just as the relative performance analysis turned positive. There was another sideways pattern in October into early November, another one in late November, additionally in early December, early January, later in January, and in February, where the XLE had anywhere from a 1 to 2 week sideways pattern before it resumed its uptrend. You'll note that the 20-day EMA acted as very good support during those periods and allowed some very good entry points. Once you know that a sector is outperforming the market, you can then scan for individual stocks within that sector for buy candidates that have a better profit potential than a sector ETF. When the buy signal in the XLE was given, Valero Energy popped up to close at 1447 on October 1st. The relative performance didn't complete its bottom formation till about a month later, and it had quite a run of over 50% in just a 5-month period. The NASDAQ 100, or the PowerShares Q, is one of the star performers throughout the bull market. This chart goes back to the bottom in 2009. You can see the weekly relative performance analysis completed its bottom formation by taking out the August 2008 high on February 20th, as I actually noted in an article at the time, as the Qs began their tremendous run to the upside after their March low at around $24. In mid-September of 2012, the NASDAQ 100 gave up its leadership role for a while. You can see the uptrend in the relative performance was broken. But by early 2013, we had another bottoming formation in the relative performance analysis, suggesting that the period of strength had resumed. By monitoring the monthly charts, you can see that a similar bottom formation was evident in February of 2009. And even though the relative performance analysis did drop below its moving average in 2013, it never started a new downtrend and is well above its long-term support. In the next part of this series, I will look at some of the daily bottoming formations and how they need to be analyzed in terms of the weekly charts. Hope you found this information beneficial. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at tom@viperetf. Thank you.